everyone, in this video let me explain the concepts of permutation and combinations. So these techniques, first of all you should know why we need the concepts of permutations and combinations. These techniques of permutations and combination is introduced for counting ordered and unordered arrangement of objects from a finite set. Suppose if we need ordered arrangement, then we go with permutation. If we need unordered arrangement, then we go with combinations. So for that purpose, these counting techniques is introduced. Okay, so let me start with what is a permutation. So permutation is nothing but an ordered arrangement of objects. That's all. In simple way, permutation is nothing but ordered selection, or in other way we have to say that ordered arrangement. Here order is a matter, right? So whenever there is order is a matter, so we go with permutation. So keep that in your mind. So an ordered arrangement of objects. How many objects are objects among n? Okay. So if we are going with the ordered arrangement of objects from a set, then we make use of permutation. Generally it is denoted by n of p r, r and pr. You make either of these notations, right? So for calculation of n objects, that is for selection of r objects among n objects, so we make use of the formula n factorial over n minus r factorial. Okay. So or in other way we have to say this in a simplest form as this is the problem of counting the number of ways of arranging r objects from a n objects. Here note this point. When repetition not allowed, if repetition not allowed, then only we make use of this formula. Okay, permutation category, we have two categories, subcategories, right? So repetition not allowed, when repetition is allowed, right? So without repetition or with repetition. So like that in permutation, so we have to go with two cases. So when repetition, so this is the formula, most general formula we know already. So this is the formula for permutation without repetition. Right? This is the formula for permutation without repetition. Here repetition of objects, that means here the repetition of objects is not allowed. Right? So if the repetition of objects is not allowed, we make use of this formula and find out the ordered arrangement or selection of objects from a given set of n objects. Right? So when repetition not allowed and order matter, we make use of this formula. What is the other case? The other possibility is when permutation with repetition allowed. Permutation with repetition allowed means what? Permutation with repetition allowed means here there will be chance of, that means so there are some elements that can be repeated. Okay. So in such cases we make use of this formula. Okay. That means there is no restriction on number of times a particular element may be occur. Okay. So it may repeated once, sorry, more than once. Okay. So in such cases we make use of this formula. So the multiplication, by using multiplication rule, so the number of r permutations of a set of n objects with repetition allowed is n power r. Okay. Which means, so there are n ways to select an element of a set for each of the r positions. Okay. So there are totally r positions are there. So for that r positions, okay. So for each position you have how many possibilities? So for each position you have n possibilities. Okay. Here repetition allowed means that is the meaning. So for each position you have n possibilities. Okay. So totally we have n objects. So n possibilities are there. So totally you have n power r. That is the meaning of repetition allowed. If repetition is not allowed, how you are going to write? Suppose for the r objects, so the repetition is not allowed means for the first one you have only one, that means you have only n possibility. For the second one already 1 over, so n minus 1 possibilities. For the next one n minus 2 possibilities. So that is the meaning of repetition not allowed. So that for that reason we have here n by n minus r factorial. Okay. So with the repetition allowed means for the r position, so for you have n objects. So n objects means, so for each and every position you have n possibilities. Okay. So that's why here we have using product rule, here we have n power r. So hope you got a clear idea about what is permutation in detail, right? Thank you.